contribute to the success that Liverpool achieved.
Two Bolton defenders for company.
No one listened when Kenny Dalglish saw what Steven Gerrard really meant to Liverpool. On the 27th of April 2014, Gerrard slipped while trying to receive a routine pass at Anfield. Demba Ba pounced on the loose ball and scored. Liverpool lost 2-0 to Chelsea that day. Manchester City went on to win the Premier League title. In an instant, a 17-year career was reduced to one moment on wet grass. His own words, "This does not slip now," were thrown back at him by people who wanted a simple villain. But one mistake cannot explain a career that long. It cannot explain what Gerrard gave to this club, year after year through pain, pressure, and constant change. Dalglish refused to accept that verdict. He saw a bigger story, one that started long before that afternoon against Chelsea. And if players who gave everything deserve more respect, use the hype feature and give this video some hype, because Gerrard's real story is much bigger than that fall. So was Gerrard the man who cost Liverpool the league? Or was he the reason they came so close in the first place? To answer that, we need to understand what Dalglish saw in him long before most people were paying attention. Dalglish's belief in Gerrard did not begin with a trophy or a headline. It began years earlier in the academy. Paul Dalglish, Kenny's son, watched Gerrard as a young teenager training with Liverpool's youth sides. Paul came away certain that something special was coming through the ranks. That judgment stuck with the Dalglish family long before the wider football world caught on. Even Gerrard's first senior seasons showed the same signs. Former Liverpool midfielder David Thompson remembered an 18-year-old Gerrard before a match against a powerful Arsenal side. That Arsenal team included Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, Dennis Bergkamp, and Tony Adams, some of the toughest opponents in the league. Gerrard was visibly nervous before kickoff, but he still spoke as though he planned to control that midfield. Then he went out and did exactly that. This was not empty talk from a young player trying to sound brave. It showed something deeper. Gerrard wanted responsibility in matches that frightened other players. He did not hide when the game got hard. That instinct to step forward rather than step back is what Dalglish noticed before almost anyone else did. That instinct became official in October 2003. Manager Gerard Houllier handed the Liverpool captaincy to Gerrard. He was only 23 years old, and he was replacing Sami Hyypiä, an experienced and respected defender. Plenty of people questioned whether such a young player could handle that weight. It looked to some like too much too soon. Dalglish disagreed completely. He believed the Liverpool armband could never be handed out simply because a player was born nearby or had been at the club a long time. It had to be earned through performance, through professionalism, and through consistent standards. Dalglish was not praising Gerrard because he was a local lad done good. He believed Gerrard had proved himself through hard work, match after match. That belief only grew stronger when Dalglish returned as Liverpool manager for a second spell, from 2011 to 2012. This time, he was not watching from a distance. He was inside the dressing room, working alongside Gerrard every day. Alongside Jamie Carragher, Gerrard helped hold the standards together during a difficult and uncertain period under new ownership. When Liverpool kept changing around him, on the pitch and off it, Gerrard helped keep the club steady. That steadiness was tested in ways that had nothing to do with football ability. During the mid-2000s, money began pouring into English football in a way the game had never seen before. Roman Abramovich's takeover of Chelsea changed everything. Suddenly, a handful of clubs could spend far more than their rivals, and Liverpool's best players became constant transfer targets. Gerrard felt that pull directly. Between 2004 and 2005, he became the center of one of the biggest transfer sagas English football had known. Chelsea wanted him. Real Madrid wanted him. Other leading clubs across Europe wanted him too. In July 2005, Gerrard actually submitted a transfer request. This is not a small detail, and it should not be hidden. Supporters were angry and confused. There was real tension between Gerrard and the people running the club. Then Gerrard changed his mind and chose to stay. That choice matters more because it was not simple or easy. He was tempted. He was unsettled. Leaving would have offered him a faster, easier route to medals, with a club that already had everything in place. Staying meant more years of uncertainty at a club still trying to rebuild itself. Dalglish understood that choice better than most, because he had made the opposite one. Dalglish left Celtic for Liverpool at the age of 26, choosing to test himself somewhere new. Gerrard did the reverse. He stayed with his hometown club until he was 34. Dalglish believed that staying with a club still finding its feet could take more courage than joining a team that had already won everything. Istanbul is the proof of that belief. In the 2005 Champions League final, Gerrard scored Liverpool's first goal, helped win the penalty that brought Liverpool level, and filled several different roles across that unforgettable night, including right wing back. That victory meant more precisely because it was difficult and unlikely. It was not collected as a smaller piece of a dominant side. It was built in large part by Gerrard himself, at a club that was still rebuilding around him. To understand why that mattered so much, we have to look at the teams Dalglish and Gerrard actually played in. Dalglish's Liverpool in the late 70s and through the 80s was filled with elite players in almost every position. Graham Souness, Ian Rush, Alan Hansen, and Phil Neal gave that side strength and depth from back to front. Dalglish rarely had to carry a team alone, because he was never truly alone out there. Gerrard's Liverpool looked very different. For much of his 17 years at the club, Liverpool simply did not have the same depth or spending power as Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and later Manchester City. That gap in resources meant Gerrard had to do far more than score goals and create chances. Think about how many roles he actually played. He was a box-to-box midfielder, driving forward and getting back. He played on the right when the team needed it. He played just behind Fernando Torres as a second striker. He worked as an attacking midfielder in other seasons. Later in his career, he dropped into a deeper role, controlling the tempo of matches from further back. Across almost every version of that Liverpool team, he was expected to defend, create, lead, and score, often in the same 90 minutes. His teammates saw exactly what that cost him. Fernando Torres saw Gerrard as irreplaceable, the player everything else was built around. Luis Suarez believed Gerrard's leadership lifted the level of everyone playing alongside him. Lucas Leiva felt that Gerrard personally rescued Liverpool seasons that were falling apart around him. This was not one man collecting compliments. This was a squad that was uneven, leaning on one player to solve problems that should have been shared across the whole team. Dalglish saw that clearly. He understood that Gerrard was being asked to fix issues that, at a stronger club, would never have landed on one player's shoulders alone. You can see that tactical growth across the different stages of Gerrard's career. In his early years, he built his authority through raw energy, aggression, and bold driving midfield play. During his peak years from 2004 to 2009, he became a free attacking force, almost a second striker, producing his best football alongside Xabi Alonso, Javier Mascherano, Fernando Torres, and Jamie Carragher. The 2005 Champions League and the 2006 FA Cup both came from moments when Liverpool were close to losing, and Gerrard dragged them through. During the rebuilding years from 2009 to 2012, his value moved partly off the pitch. He became just as important for holding the dressing room together as he was for what he did in matches. Then from 2012 to 2015, he adapted again, dropping into a deeper position. From there, he controlled the pace of games and supported a new generation of attacking players, including Philippe Coutinho, Raheem Sterling, Daniel Sturridge, and Luis Suarez. In the 2013 to 2014 title challenge, that deeper role produced 13 goals and 13 assists. Gerrard did not simply survive on power alone. He changed his game as his body changed and as Liverpool's needs changed around him. That physical cost was real, and it was heavy. Gerrard suffered repeated problems with his groin, his hamstring, his Achilles, and his hip. He needed several operations across his career just to keep playing. The most serious spell came in 2011, when severe osteitis pubis and related groin trouble kept him out for more than 6 months. During that time, even basic things like walking properly and training normally became a real struggle. Gerrard has admitted he feared his career might be finished. He came back anyway. He returned to captain both Liverpool and England. For Dalglish, that recovery said as much about Gerrard's character as any of his goals or assists ever could. Medals cannot measure a comeback like that. Which brings us back to that slip in April 2014 and why it was never the full story. Liverpool conceded 50 league goals across 38 matches that season. That is a defensive record far worse than almost any title-winning team in the competition's history. A few weeks after the Chelsea defeat, Liverpool drew 3-3 with Crystal Palace, throwing away a 3-goal lead in the final 11 minutes. That collapse had nothing to do with one player slipping on wet grass. It showed problems that ran through the whole team. Earlier in that same season, Raheem Sterling had a perfectly good goal wrongly disallowed during a narrow defeat away at Manchester City. That decision cost Liverpool points just as directly as the Chelsea result did. And through all of this, Gerrard was still carrying chronic groin trouble, still trying to control a midfield that did not have enough support around it. Dalglish's defense of Gerrard after that season was clear and firm. Without Gerrard's 13 goals, 13 assists, and constant leadership, Liverpool would never have been close to the title at all. The slip hurt Liverpool, and nobody should pretend otherwise. But it did not create every weakness in that team. It did not erase results from earlier in the season, and it certainly did not define 17 years of service to one football club. To understand Dalglish's judgment fully, look at the two eras side by side. Dalglish played during a period of real stability at Liverpool, with strong ownership and real financial strength behind the team. Gerrard played through boardroom conflict, the Hicks and Gillett ownership period, the genuine threat of the club going into administration, and eventually a change to FSG ownership. Behind all of that, there was a growing financial gap between Liverpool and their richest rivals. Gerrard's achievements have to be judged against that backdrop, not against some imaginary version of Liverpool that never had to struggle. People did not listen to Dalglish because they judged Gerrard through the one medal he never won, and through the mistake they could replay again and again. Dalglish judged him differently. He judged him through the weight Gerrard carried, season after season for a club that was rebuilding for most of his career. Dalglish saw it before almost anyone else. Gerrard did not just play for Liverpool. When the club shook again and again, he was the man who helped hold it together.